Willkommen bei Heist, Ihr Partner für Zertifizierungserfolg. Wir bieten umfassende Lernmaterialien, online und offline, und begleiten Sie Schritt für Schritt. Von PDF-Leitfäden bis zu praxisnahen Übungssätzen. Alle wichtigen Fragen für Ihre Zertifizierung sind abgedeckt. Sie haben jederzeit die richtigen Ressourcen griffbereit. Laden Sie PDFs herunter. Machen Sie Tests und nutzen Sie unser Expertenteam. Mit interaktiver Online-Praxis können Sie sich überall und jederzeit prüfen. Unsere PDFs sind prüfungsbereit, sorgfältig zusammengestellt und bleiben stets aktuell. Tausende Lernende haben sich bereits erfolgreich zertifizieren lassen und vertrauen auf unsere Qualität. Zertifizierte Fachkräfte stehen bereit, um Ihre Fragen zu beantworten. Starten Sie heute und geben Sie Ihrer Vorbereitung den entscheidenden Vorteil mit Heist. Besuchen Sie xmheist.com. Heist. Ihr Weg zum Erfolg beginnt hier.
Question 1. CloudKicks, CK, wants its sales team to use Sales Cloud to decrease its lead conversion time. The Business Analyst, BA, will analyze and break down CK's typical sales cycle. How can process mapping help the BA get started on this project? Option A. It can show the relationship between the steps and actions in the sales cycle to communicate and understand the current state, and to identify areas for improvement. Option B. It can model changes in the current customer experience, analyze each change's potential for impact, and help visualize potential improvements in the sales cycle in advance of the solution design. Option C. It can display complex ideas in a consistent format, highlight blockers and impediments to help stakeholders quickly assess issues in the sales cycle, and see the project timeline at a glance. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. It can show the relationship between the steps and actions in the sales cycle to communicate and understand the current state, and to identify areas for improvement. Question 2. One retail location of CloudKicks has been getting complaints from shoppers about being unable to find items in a store. The general manager has asked IT to configure tablets for the sales clerks so they can move freely around the store to assist customers. The IT team writes a functional requirement. Tablets running the Salesforce mobile app must allow users to access store inventory records, which include current item count and item location. Which user story should the business analyst write to describe the functional requirement? Option A. As a general manager, I want sales clerks to have tablets so they can help customers find items. Option B. As a sales clerk, I want to see item availability and locations to help customers find items. Option C. As a customer, I want sales clerks to have access to item availability to help them find items. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. As a sales clerk, I want to see item availability and locations to help customers find items. Question 3. A business analyst, BA, at Northern Trail Outfitters is preparing for a user acceptance testing UAT session for a global sales cloud project. What should the BA do to engage the business most effectively during UAT? Option A. Hand off ownership for writing, reviewing, and executing UAT scenarios, providing feedback, and approval for release to business stakeholders. Option B. Work with quality assurance analysts to collaborate in writing, reviewing and executing UAT scenarios, providing feedback, and approval for release. Option C. Work with business stakeholders to collaborate in writing, reviewing, and executing UAT scenarios, providing feedback, and approval for release. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. Work with business stakeholders to collaborate in writing, reviewing, and executing UAT scenarios, providing feedback, and approval for release. Question 4. CloudKix is planning to create a new Service Cloud Console app for its services team to resolve issues with delayed shipments to customers. The Business Analyst, BA, wrote the user stories based on a written list of requirements provided by the manager of the services team. Upon stakeholder review with the entire services team, many of the user stories were rejected and the BA had to revise them. When the BA wrote the initial user stories, what was the likely cause of the issue? Option A. The user stories focused on well-defined personas. Option B. The project team failed to discuss the user stories as a group. Option C. The acceptance criteria of the user stories were too specific. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. The project team failed to discuss the user stories as a group. Question 5. After the first round of user acceptance testing for a Sales Cloud project, the business analyst discovered that a high number of test cases failed. What is a possible reason why the test cases failed? Option A. Missing test script details. Option B. Missing test result details. Option C. Missing test org access details. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Missing test script details. Question 6. As a business analyst, BA starts engaging stakeholders for a user story writing workshop. An executive sponsor questions why the Commerce Cloud project is creating user stories rather than standard requirements. What is one benefit of creating user stories that the BA can share with the executive sponsor? Option A. It helps testers determine the most efficient way to validate solutions. Option B. It defines technical specifications early in the process. Option C. It saves time when prioritizing and implementing functionality. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. It saves time when prioritizing and implementing functionality. Question 7. The project team at Universal Containers has started to review the existing Salesforce manufacturing solution that has low adoption and a variety of customizations including custom objects, custom fields, renamed standard objects, and renamed standard fields. What should the business analyst recommend to the project team to increase understanding when documenting requirements, processes, and potential solutions? Option A. Use industry terminology and language. Option B. Use customer terminology and language. Option C. Use Salesforce terminology and language. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Use customer terminology and language. Question 8. The Salesforce development team is strictly following Scrum to govern its releases. An executive trying to plan a vacation wants to know when work on the feature will begin so they can be available for additional implementation. Questions. After consulting with the product owner, the business analyst, BA, learns the team has decided to adopt Kanban instead for all future releases. What should the BA tell the executive? Option A. Work will begin after executive approval is given. Option B. Work will begin when capacity becomes available. Option C. Work will begin in the next sprint. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Work will begin when capacity becomes available. Question 9. A business analyst at Universal Containers has begun user acceptance testing for a new Experience Cloud implementation with the project team. A major gap for one of the personas was identified in the documented scenarios. What went wrong? Option A. Failure to include all stakeholders in the requirements gathering process. Option B. Failure to perform thorough unit testing during the development process. Option C. Failure to validate the application against the functional requirements. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. Failure to include all stakeholders in the requirements gathering process. Question 10. Northern Trail Outfitters has a large Salesforce org with sales, marketing, and billing teams pushing for the development of a large number of items in the backlog. Which management process should the business analyst suggest to help the teams align on their competing priorities? Option A. Vision, values, methods, obstacles, and measures. V2MOM. Option B. Business Process Modeling Notation. BPMN. Option C. Integrated Definition for Process Description Capture Method. IDEF3. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. Vision, values, methods, obstacles, and measures. V2MOM. Question 11. An executive at CloudKicks has tasked the internal Salesforce staff with the optimization of a very manual process in its Salesforce org. What should the business analyst do first before a future state is proposed to key stakeholders? Option A. Discuss project trade-offs with the executive sponsor. Option B. Manage project integrations with the technical team. Option C. Hold a kickoff meeting to set expectations with the project team. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option C. Hold a kickoff meeting to set expectations with the project team. Question 12. CloudKicks, CK, has expressed concerns about the distribution process for a new line of shoes. Because the company consistently misses its targeted delivery dates, CK asks the business analyst, BA, to uncover the issue and propose a business solution. What should the BA do next? Option A. Shadow an operations team member at the CK distribution facility. Option B. Review future state distribution processes for CK. Option C. Explore how retailers similar to CK handle distribution. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. Shadow an operations team member at the CK distribution facility. Question 13. CloudKicks is creating a new lead conversion process in Sales Cloud. During a recent sprint, the business analyst created user stories related to the opportunity object. Test scripts were created for the lead conversion process. All of the test scripts passed and the new functionality was deployed. After deployment, end users reported error messages when manually creating new opportunities. Which area of user acceptance testing, UAT, was overlooked? Option A. Several teams should be part of UAT to represent multiple viewpoints. Option B. Functionality on interconnected objects should be part of UAT. Option C. End users who are experts in that functionality should participate in UAT. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. Functionality on interconnected objects should be part of UAT. Question 14. A business analyst, BA, at Northern Trail Outfitters is assigned to a project to help revamp the case management process. The BA has gathered requirements and finished the first draft of user stories. What should the BA use to assess the quality of a user story? Option A. Gap analysis document. Option B. Invest checklist. Option C. Numerical framework. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Invest checklist. Question 15. Sales managers at Northern Trail Outfitters, NTO, have received feedback from sales reps that record pages are slow and often take longer to load when using the app on a phone. The business analyst, BA, has been asked to evaluate NTO's org to find out which pages are the slowest to load when using the app on a phone. What is the first step the BA should take to help resolve the issue? Option A. Create a new page layout for the phone. Option B. Use Performance Analyzer to view the assessment. Option C. Confirm steps to reproduce the issue. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. Confirm steps to reproduce the issue. Question 16. CloudKix needs to revamp its support process over the next 12 months to improve the customer experience and has asked the Service Cloud team to collaborate with the business analyst, BA. The BA has scheduled an initial live process mapping session with all stakeholders and received the following calendar responses. What should the BA do? Option A. Proceed with the workshop is scheduled with the stakeholders who are available. Option B. Cancel the workshop and reschedule it to a date when all stakeholders are available. Option C. Hold a one-on-one diagram session with each stakeholder before the workshop. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Cancel the workshop and reschedule it to a date when all stakeholders are available. Question 17. The sales team at CloudKix is rolling out a new sales methodology to incorporate the requested changes. The business analyst working with the technical team identifies several integrations that touch the opportunity object and could be impacted by the changes. The project manager wants the solution to include unit testing, code reviews, and functional testing. What does the project team need to agree upon to ensure the work is ready to be deployed? Option A. Entity relationship diagram. Option B. User acceptance criteria. Option C. Definition of done. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. Definition of done. Question 18. The product development team at Northern Trail Outfitters is creating a process within Salesforce to onboard new retail employees. The business analyst, BA, creates a current state process map by interviewing a few members of the onboarding team using email. Question is, after presenting the process map to the entire onboarding team, the BA receives feedback that it is incorrect. What should the BA do to provide the product development team with more accurate information about the onboarding team's process? Option A. Review survey feedback again to better understand pain points in the existing onboarding process. Option B. Conduct individual interviews with each team member to gather more information about the existing onboarding process. Option C. Meet with key project stakeholders in a live workshop to build consensus on the current and desired onboarding processes. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. Meet with key project stakeholders in a live workshop to build consensus on the current and desired onboarding processes. Question 19. The business analyst, BA, at Universal Containers needs to gather information for their project, including the steps a user takes to accomplish a goal, challenges a user faces, people the user interacts with, applications they use to complete the steps, and their level of morale as they move through the process. Which elicitation technique should the BA use? Option A. Survey, questionnaire. Option B. Journey mapping. Option C. Focus groups. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, journey mapping. Question 20. While working on a new Sales Cloud feature request for the sales team at Northern Trail Outfitters, the business analyst, BA, uncovers a workflow which could have an impact on the service team. The sales director assures the BA that the impact to service would be minimal. Which step should the BA take next? Option A. Review the effort and impacts with the service team, and work to align requirements across the teams. Option B. Continue with the effort as defined by sales and add a backlog item to review the service impacts in the future. Option C. Prioritize the effort as defined by sales and ask the director to review any service impacts. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Review the effort and impacts with the service team, and work to align requirements across the teams. Question 21. At the start of a new agile development project, the Universal Containers product owner asked the business analyst, BA, to clearly define the intended results of the work based on stakeholder needs. The development and implementation teams will use the intended results to plan product decisions. The definition should avoid assumptions and focus on stakeholder value. Which element should the BA choose to define the intended results? Option A. Epics. Option B. Requirements. Option C. User stories. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, user stories. Question 22. A business analyst, BA, is reviewing the risks associated with a proposed solution leveraging cases and support queues, and the effect that those risks might have on the project timeline. Which type of analysis is the BA performing? Option A. Enterprise analysis. Option B. Strategy analysis. Option C. Stakeholder analysis. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, strategy analysis. Question 23. Universal Containers, UC, has chosen to implement Sales Cloud and Service Cloud to increase revenue and remove bottlenecks in its current processes. A business analyst, BA, is tasked with diagramming business processes. What should the BA do to successfully meet governance requirements to identify the business purpose? Option A. Identify resources engaged in each step. Option B. Adhere to agreed upon mapping standards. Option C. Use UC's existing terminology. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, adhere to agreed upon mapping standards. Question 24. The business analyst is working with a stakeholder on a Salesforce project. The stakeholder needs an approval process on contract submissions. Sales managers want to see all contracts when the discount is greater than 20%. They will decline any contracts with a discount that is greater than 25%. But they want visibility into other highly discounted contracts. Which acceptance criteria is the most effective for this scenario? Option A. Users in a sales manager role should have access to a button on contracts to click to approve or decline a contract with a discounted price of 20% or more. Option B. A sales manager wants to be able to approve contracts with a large discount and they need a validation rule related to contract discounts greater than 25%. Option C. A sales manager wants to be notified when a contract has been submitted with a discount greater than 20% so the manager can approve or decline a discounted price. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. A sales manager wants to be notified when a contract has been submitted with a discount greater than 20% so the manager can approve or decline a discounted price. Question 25. A business analyst, BA, is in the process of documenting requirements. The BA wrote the following user story. As a sales team manager, I want the ability to access reports on Sales Cloud to evaluate if the team's daily activities are meeting the set goals. Which acceptance criteria is most appropriate for this user story? Option A. Able to click the Run button on sales reports. Option B. Able to view the sales team's reports. Option C. Able to monitor the sales team's performance. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Able to view the sales team's reports. Question 26. The business analyst at CloudKicks is using a checklist to assess the quality of user stories for an upcoming Experience Cloud implementation. Which characteristics make a user story successful? Option A. Actionable, concise, testable, solution-oriented, defined. Option B. Independent, negotiable, valuable, estimable, small, testable. Option C. Clear, direct, concise, cross-functional, configurable. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Independent, negotiable, valuable, estimable, small, testable. Question 27. Universal Containers has just been notified by authorities that govern the shipping industry of new regulatory requirements. To comply, there are several existing processes built on Salesforce that will need to change. A business analyst, BA, will help describe the additional business needs imposed by the new regulations. Which type of document should the BA prepare? Option A. Current state analysis. Option B. Audit log. Option C. Gap analysis. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. Gap analysis. Question 28. Universal Containers, UC, is working with an implementation partner to help it optimize Salesforce. A new business analyst, BA, from the partner was introduced to UC stakeholders a few weeks into the project. The BA is getting to know each of the stakeholders by their roles and contributions. However, the BA had one misstep and is slightly embarrassed. What should the BA do to build trust with the stakeholders? Option A. Be vulnerable and own their mistake. Option B. Promise to work harder to avoid other mistakes. Option C. Ask their supervisor for help immediately. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Be vulnerable and own their mistake. Question 29. Universal Containers has planned an initiative to assess its Salesforce org to identify areas of risk and has asked the business analyst, BA, to provide an analysis of its current state. The BA will utilize Salesforce Optimizer for the assessment. How should the BA use the output from the tool? Option A. Identify top project priorities. Option B. Verify Lightning page loading time. Option C. Understand the project scope. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Identify top project priorities. Question 30. The Salesforce team at CloudKicks, CK, is reviewing the sales team's business processes. During a review session, the business analyst notices that quantifiable benchmarks have yet to be established. Why is it a best practice to establish benchmarks to evaluate existing processes? Option A shows tangible impact from changes to processes. Option B proves processes are out of date and require a new solution. Option C compares processes against C case closest competitors. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A shows tangible impact from changes to processes. Question 31. After reviewing a technical demo, the Northern Trail Outfitters sales leadership team wants to make adjustments to the original requirements around Sales Cloud opportunity. Management. What should the business analyst do to manage the requested changes? Option A. Update the change management document and user acceptance testing plans. Option B. Update the change request log and draft a new user story. Option C. Update the gap analysis document and scope statement specification. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Update the change request log and draft a new user story. Question 32. Universal Containers. UC wants to overhaul its Service Cloud implementation and has hired a consulting company to help drive requirements. In an effort to gain more information about the project, the business analyst, BA, has begun to review UC's structure to understand the functions of each department, how departments interact, and who reports to whom within UC. Which technique is the BA using? Option A. Stakeholder analysis. Option B. Strategy analysis. Option C. Enterprise analysis. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. Enterprise analysis. Question 33. The business analyst, BA, at Universal Containers is preparing for user acceptance testing, UAT, for an Experience Cloud implementation. Which people should participate in UAT? Option A. BA, business users, key stakeholders. Option B. BA, project manager, key stakeholders. Option C. Business users, project manager, key stakeholders. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. BA, business users, key stakeholders. Question 34. The sales team at Universal Containers has concerns that the process for distributing new leads is too slow. The VP of Sales has engaged the business analyst, BA, to help map out a process to distribute new leads quickly. The BA sets up a meeting with stakeholders and learns a stakeholder already has a solution in mind. What should the BA do next? Option A. Gather requirements and then note the proposed solution. Option B. Ask the stakeholder to demo their solution to the project team. Option C. Implement the solution now to save time in the planning phase. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Gather requirements and then note the proposed solution. Question 35. The lead business analyst, BA, at CloudKicks is putting together user stories for the new sales process that will be implemented in Sales Cloud. The lead BA is advising Junior Boss on how to construct the user story. What should the lead BA tell the Junior Boss to include in a user story? Option A. Include technical details. Option B. Include who, what, and why. Option C. Include the V2MOM structure. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Include who, what, and why. Question 36. Northern Trail Outfitters, NTO, is working with an implementation partner to transform its customer support team with Service Cloud. A new business analyst, BA, who is a replacement from the partner, was introduced to NTO stakeholders during the discovery phase of a project. The new BA is still getting to know each of the stakeholders when they start the requirements workshop. The BA asks a stakeholder a discovery question and they seem irritated. What should the BA do to build trust with the stakeholder as the project continues? Option A. Reset project expectations at the next meeting with the stakeholder. Option B. Set up a casual meeting to create a personal connection with the stakeholder. Option C. Ask an executive sponsor to address the stakeholder's concerns. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. Set up a casual meeting to create a personal connection with the stakeholder. Question 37. The CloudKicks business analyst, BA, is frustrated because the requirements tracking spreadsheet is often incomplete or out of sync for the Slack transition project. The development team has recommended that the BA use a DevOps tool as an alternative. What are the benefits of using a DevOps tool in this situation? Option A. Tracks changes for the testing team and provides access to user stories. Option B. Tracks changes in real time and provides a single source of truth. Option C. Tracks changes on a daily basis and provides a history of changes. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. Tracks changes in real time and provides a single source of truth. Question 38. The business analyst, BA, at Universal Containers is meeting with business leaders to elicit and document functional requirements specifications related to its new Salesforce implementation. The BA will also document the functionality this system should provide so it can be developed into a work item. What is the name of this documentation type? Option A. User story. Option B. Business analysis plan. Option C. Use case. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. User story. Question 39. Universal Containers has a Salesforce knowledge base solution. However, the support agents have indicated that the system has duplicate knowledge articles. The agents have requested a feature that allows them to compare articles side by side and merge the articles. While researching solution options, the business analyst, BA, noticed an idea in the Salesforce Idea Exchange that directly addresses this requirement. The idea is in beta testing and will be generally available in the next release. What should the BA suggest? Option A. Ask the support manager to wait until the idea is released. Option B. Ask the Salesforce account executive to release the idea early. Option C. Ask the development team to build a custom solution based on the idea. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. Ask the support manager to wait until the idea is released. Question 40. The Service Center at Universal Containers is deploying a new case management solution. Management has asked the project team to prepare for end-user training. The project team consists of an admin and a business analyst, BA. Which task should be assigned to the BA? Option A. Create user training materials. Option B. Conduct user training. Option C. Set up users for training. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. Create user training materials.